This is recent. Essentially, the plot of the movie is that the vampires can't infect anyone unless they're invited into the club.
What y'all doing? Just step aside and let me on in now.
You big and strong enough to push past us?
Well, that wouldn't be too polite now, would it, Miss Annie?
If you don't invite them in, they can't infect you. Ladies, if you don't invite them in, they cannot infect you.
You gonna let me in? Or just sit there blocking the door?
No, come on. Go in.
Now, if a person is outside of the club and they want to get in, you have to check them first before you grant them access into your club.
All right, let's see if they're infected.
I was helping others out there. Look,
His
no
neck.
bites.
In his eyes, oh my goodness. No bites, huh? I'll be the judge of that. Okay, nothing on his arms, nothing on his stomach, nothing on his legs, nothing on his back. But we can check with the UV light to see if he has any hidden scratches or bite marks. Why do you have a bite mark on your dick?
Access denied. Access denied.
If their results come back clean, then by all means, let them in.
I don't have any panties on.
But just in case, always make sure that you protect yourselves if/when you decide to let that person enter your club. Because there's other dangers that you may have to worry about, okay? These men look the same, but one is infected. Ladies, what do you need to do in order to find out who's infected before you let them in? It's very simple. A simple analogy. And you know, I posted this on Facebook. The first comment from a woman, black woman, first thing she said, this applies to both men and women. Oh, Lord have mercy. What I gotta do?
What more do you want from me?
God, dog. The issue is with our women. So I'm speaking to black women since they don't understand how to protect themselves. She still kept saying, yes, it's both men and... It's like women don't have autonomy over their bodies until, I don't understand how this works. How y'all don't? Why am I a grown-ass man explaining that to black women in our community? Do y'all not want control over who you give access to? Is that what you're saying? If my message was targeted to heterosexual black men, I would do one for them. but I'm looking at the statistics and I see black women need help. So I figured out a way to explain it, but people are still giving pushback. That is the craziest thing ever, bro, and I'm trying my best. I'm looking, the comments keep popping up on social media, people arguing amongst each other, but nobody, I promise you, nobody's said, hey man, maybe we need to dial it down in regards to having frivolous sex.
Eat this pussy, 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 eat this, eat this, eat this pussy, eat this pussy, you hoe ass nigga.
Instead, it's blame black men. It's what sense does this make, bro? And sometimes I'm thinking like, man, am I wasting my time with the black community? Because this is not the first time that I've thought this. Like, I'm like, man, you try and bring some level of decorum on YouTube, you know, give some quality content, educate some folks while trying to make it entertaining. But then I'm like, man, well shoot, I might as well just sit here and do reaction videos and talk about dating and sneaking in and shit like that without a message behind it. Because it seems like people are more worried about entertainment than getting educated. We got to do better. Have protection, get tested. You got to put these plans into action to make sure that we are protected and get these numbers down. These things are preventable. I mean, it's not going to always be 100%, but we got to do our part. It's that simple, because our numbers are leading the pack for chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. Protect yourselves. What's going on? Welcome back to another Media Man Live. I'm excited to be here on this Finance Monday. Man, if you are in attendance today, we have some amazing videos. You guys are going to learn a lot about the business landscape of the Black community, some history. I'm also going to throw in there the world's top Black billionaires, and this list is stacked. You guys may be surprised at who's first. Actually, it's going to be a good video. We're going to do a Brookings PowerPoint in regards to the statistics of Black businesses. We got the psychology of money. We got the Pew Research business statistics. What else I got? Reviewing the Goldman Sachs reports and their contributions to Black women. 44 business grants for Black women. And one of my favorite business owners who is a Black woman, because I have a vested interest in the company. But yes, we're going to take a look at all of that. So you guys, man, you are in for a treat. I'm so excited to do these types of live streams, bring some, some good information so you guys will have a landscape, or I guess a starting point as to what we're doing in the Black community and also where we can improve. So this is going to be a great show. I promise you guys that. I'm excited to be here. We got 24 folks already in the building, and I see so far who I got in here with the super chats. Air Force Week was actually first. I seen that, Dante Bryan. $2 super chat. He said, we are in here on a glorious Monday. Absolutely, man. We blessed, man. Blessed and highly favored. I'm happy to be here, man. Another day. Holla if you're here. Oh, there go me. So well, I love music. But anyway, Dante Bryant, $10 super chat. Brother Double M, a piece said Air Force Reek beat me, damn it. Man, I appreciate both of y'all, man, for being there. I know y'all really going to enjoy this live stream, man. I promise you, because this is filled with knowledge, entertaining. You may learn some things. I grabbed some specific videos so we can go over for some from some different content creators, so you guys can enjoy those. And when I share videos, I kind of give you guys a deep dive into the people that I watch. So when I find something that's informative, I always want to bring it to you guys so you guys can have the knowledge as well. And you may, have learned about a new content creator. Who knows? So we'll see. But yeah, so let me see here who else we got. Since it's 28 folks in here, I will go ahead and get LB the King. He got the eyes. Okay. Good to see you here. We got Cubby Kush. Okay. Cool name. Media Man, thank you for your time, work ethic, and effort that you put into informing us as a people. You definitely carved out your own lane. Don't think you're not appreciated. I appreciate that, man, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been questioning. I definitely been questioning the type of content, but it's all good. I definitely appreciate it. Need those types of messages. Thank you. And Highway Skinny, Media Man salute. I created a YouTube playlist for all your videos. Oh, man. Hey, I'm honored, brother. I'm definitely honored, Skinny. Thank you. I like to see that. But yeah, man, I'm pretty sure y'all seen the lead in. I put out a video, about the HIV statistics, and I tried to make it kind of entertaining, but also educational for Black women. Well, women in general. But I really didn't like the response to the videos that I put out to try and inform Black women, and that was actually one of the things that got me thinking about, man, should I just, remove myself from this, like trying to inform the Black community on certain things, because you guys know I don't care about, the feelings and opinions. It's all about the statistics and helping people understand where they stand. And it seems like every time I try and help Black women understand, like, hey, man, you guys have control over this HIV thing. And it's like, yeah, well, it's their fault, or it's all bad, man. So yeah, I was having a couple conversations with a couple people, and it was like, man, I mean, it's definitely necessary, because I was showing them the ins and outs of how social media or YouTube works in regards to the algorithm, and I was showing them the different views that I get on the educational videos and also the entertainment portion of the videos. And they was like, yeah, man, it may be more financially beneficial for you to just do reactions. And I was like, yeah, no, but it's a lot of people that follow my channel that are here for these types of live streams, and I greatly appreciate that. And I honestly, to tell y'all the truth, I enjoy doing these more than anything, because I told, people on the members live stream yesterday that I learn as much as you guys, because I have to do the research and bring this information to you all. So I enjoy that aspect. It's just like me reading some pages of a book every day. I get to research and learn new things of, that are out of my subject realm, so to speak, medical realm. And I learned so much from this space. And so, I'm definitely going to continue. We're going to keep pushing forwards, and hopefully I can gravitate out towards the response statistic videos, because I think I've covered everything unless some foolery come out. And then I got to, cover that. But other than that, man, I think I've done a good job of covering every negative stereotype about Black men. So if anybody had any questions, you probably can research it on any of my platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, for that matter. So so I think we're doing okay. So I'm gonna keep fighting the good fight. But I may remove myself from trying to educate Black women in particular, because I was like, man, I'll probably get more views if I came up here cursing and talking mess about Black women instead of trying to be, professional and give this type of information. And so I'm gonna try and remove myself from those type of educational points for Black women, because they don't receive it well. If it's some foolery, of course I'm gonna address it, but education, nah. Probably after this this video or this live stream, I'm gonna just focus on the brothers, instead of trying to incorporate our women. I tried. So it's probably gonna be more focused on Black men and what what our statistics look like, as opposed to trying to help Black women out, But like I said, the pop the balloon stuff will continue. And I don't see a point, so when it's just tough. So all right, Mona in the building. What up, though? Said please like the video. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's gonna be a good show. Where we want to start? So I'm gonna do this show a little bit different. Instead of going into like statistics first, we're gonna watch a video. And as I stated before, guys, one of my favorite business owners, who is a Black woman, we're going to look at the ins and outs of her company, and I'm keeping it a surprise for a reason. I'm pretty sure some people may know, but if you don't, let's start here. Fair use. Let's get to it. And please make sure you send in those super chats, especially on these types of live streams. Definitely need it. So thank you. Here we go.
People ask me all the time, what do I want my legacy to be? I don't care. If 3 generations from now, they don't remember Fawn Weaver lived, I don't care. And that's the interesting thing, because I'm so passionate about cementing the legacy of Nearest Green, but I don't actually care about people remembering me. Maybe that's why I'm the steward of this story, that I was chosen to be this generation's baton holder of this story and building this brand to pass it to the next generation, is because I don't think about myself in the process at all.
All right, so I'm pretty sure you guys are looking, you see what's going on. So this is Fawn Weaver. She is the owner of Uncle Nearest Whiskey. You guys know that I'm a whiskey aficionado. I have visited many distilleries. I've actually purchased a barrel of Macallan. I actually went to Ireland. And you guys see that I went to Ireland, went up to Scotland, and I got a chance to purchase a barrel of Macallan whiskey that's going to mature and make my daughter a lot of money in the future. And it was a great experience, man, going to the Macallan distillery. I got to see the ins and outs of how they make their whiskey. I got to see the grounds. I mean, it was amazing. My trek all the way up there was fantastic. I enjoyed my time. So I am heavily involved in the whiskey business. I've actually went up in the hills of Germany and visited a couple of distilleries out there. I went to the Jameson distillery and visited there. My next goal this year is actually to go to the Uncle Nearest distillery. So I'm going to visit that here very shortly. Have a good time up there. They have an amazing grounds. So yeah, I wanted to bring this up here since we're talking business. Fawn Weaver is an amazing businesswoman. This lady has been very busy. She has taken the Uncle Nearest brand to the highest of high levels. She is operating in the biggest spaces. And I'm just very proud to see a Black woman doing very well in the whiskey industry. It makes me so happy to see her doing her thing. So yeah, so let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Here we go.
As a kid, I don't know that I would say I was entrepreneurial. I would say that people would have called me rebellious as they did. And I think most entrepreneurs would have been called rebellious as their kids. So maybe it means the same thing in childhood. If someone called our house, we would have to pick up the phone and say, "It's a great day at the Wilson house. How may I help you?" Well, what do you do if it's not a great day? And so I was that child that was like, I'm not going to say it's a great day. I'm not having a great day. And so there was just a nonstop battle with myself and my parents. And at the age of 15, they had a new baby girl, and they wanted to have an opportunity to raise her without there being a negative influence in the house. So they sat me down, and it was a, sort of shape up or ship out type of conversation. It was very much so, listen, we want to have the opportunity to raise her without you negatively impacting her. And so you have two choices. Either you do what we are now telling you to do as your parents in this household, or you have to leave. I think I was there another hour. My mom says she remembers me leaving out with a backpack and a lunch pail. When I left home at 15, I dropped out of high school not too long after.
So hopefully this is new news to you guys. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the Uncle Nearest brand, whiskey brand, but did you actually know her story that she moved out at 15 because she was a very rebellious kid? And to be a business owner, there are certain traits that you need to have. And she is displaying a lot of those in her early years. And I can see why she turned out to be such a great businesswoman for Uncle Nearest. But yes, you have to be very rigid in some aspects, disagreeable. And, it's a lot that goes into it. And I know in these spaces that is looked negatively upon women, but in a business space, it is absolutely necessary. But I believe Fawn Weaver is married, so her husband ain't got no problems. So they good to go. So let's continue. Here we go.
And so I found myself at a place called My Friend's Place, and it's for young people. And then the only place that had a bed for me was Children of the Night. When I turned 18, I could no longer be at Children of the Night. So they moved me to Covenant House. And so at Covenant House, every day you go out with your resume, you go out and you look for a job. It's a requirement. You either have to go to school or you have to go out and look for a job. I went out the very first day, and I came back, and we have these campfire things that you would do, and everyone around the campfire was lamenting about how hard it is to find a job, and they went out and they put out this and that and this and that. And I sat there silent because I went out and came back with 4 jobs. And I sat there and I was like, okay, I'm different. Beginning my first business at 18, I started with 2 clients, both paying me, I think, $5,000 a month. I thought I was really rich. But then you learn that your top line and your bottom line don't mirror one another if you hire a whole bunch of people. And I think I had, like, between part-time and full-time, like 10 people working with me, and I only had 2 accounts. And so it was very quickly before that ended up getting pared down to just me, right? Which is what most PR firms are when they're beginning.
So a lot of people make that mistake when they build a business. They hire too many people, and you know how much it costs to run the business and how much payroll is. If that's in a negative, then yeah, your business is bound to fail. So you have to kind of downsize, so to speak, and make sure that you have enough people to run the business, but not enough to sink your business. And I actually learned this the hard way because when I was a young kid, I remember I got my first job, and it's a funny story. I got my first job at Lucky's grocery stores. I believe I was 15 going on 16. And it was a Lucky's Lucky's grocery store that had just opened. They just built it. This is when I was in California. And I got this job, and I was already making plans that, yeah, man, I'm going to stay here for a while. I'm going to build myself up to become a manager. So during the first week, all I did was, stock, food or whatever. I would grab stuff and put it on the shelves. I would rearrange certain things, just basically walking around the grocery store once, it first opened. But after 2 weeks, dude came and got me, and he sat me down in the office. He was like, yeah, man, we got to let you go. And I was like, what happened? I didn't do anything wrong. He just like, yeah, man, we have our quota of people, so now we're downsizing. So essentially they had hired enough people to start the grocery store, like get everything set up, but then they had every intention on firing a lot of people. And I was actually one of them. So, and they gave me like a little severance pay of like less than $300, maybe $280. And I thought I was on top of the world because I got $280 to leave. But yeah, they ended up firing your boy, or laying me off, so to speak, because they built the grocery store and then they just kind of downsized. So I had to learn that the hard way. That was funny. I can remember. I remember that. You see, we got some super chats. True as Dude, $2 super chat said, just walked in the house. Peace, bro. Let's go. Absolutely, man. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we need your support in this chat, man. Thank you. MXINF, $9.99 bond. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Said my first Media Man live stream. Love me some Black business talk. Oh, absolutely, man. You go get a bunch of it today, man. Thank you for being there. Appreciate the super chat on the way in, man. And another one too, $4.99 super chat said that is a fresh red suit. Yeah, that is cold. Yeah, I like that. I definitely like that. D320KG $1.99 super chat. What up though? Said perfect timing as it's grad season right now. It absolutely is. It absolutely is, brother. I see a lot of young people walking that stage. Congrats to everybody. Let's see here. And then we got William K. Jones, $19.99 bomb. Our super chat, our show sponsor so far. $19.99 said missed out on a lot of the streams. Got to catch up. Oh, you good, brother? We in here. We just started. Let's see here. So let's get back to the video. Fair use, fair use.
So now I'm finding myself on couches again. And at the age of 20, decided to try to take my life. They had to pump charcoal through my nostrils, and I will never forget the feeling of it going through cartilage in order to pull out all of the pills that I took and the alcohol. I remember sitting there and listening to the doctors talk around me, and I remember laying there and going, I have got to be here for a reason, because I've now tried to take myself out twice and have.
She tried to commit twice, and look at her now. This is a crazy story, man.
I've been unsuccessful both times. And so literally laying there in that hospital bed, I committed myself to figuring out, why am I here on earth? Back in June of 2016, on the cover of the New York Times International Edition, I saw this photo of this Black man sitting to the right of Jack Daniel. I wasn't a Jack Daniel drinker. I had no idea who this Black man was, but Jack Daniel is one of the most ubiquitous brands around the world. And so I knew what Jack looked like. And the headline said, Jack Daniels embraces a secret ingredient, help from a slave. But then when I began to dive into the story, something else began to be peeled back. That photo taken around night.
Look at right there in the middle. See a Black man. That's crazy, right? MX 499 Super Chat said, even if you're not a CEO yet, you need to have a boss mindset and manage your time, even if you have a manager / W-2. Good point. Thank you. Right there. That's an iconic photo.
1904. That photo was cropped. I got the original photo. That black man isn't just to the right of Jack Daniel. That black man was centered.
Look at that.
So even though we don't have a photo of Nearest Green, the person who he ceded the center position to is Nearest's son, George Green. Nearest Green was not only the teacher and mentor of a young Jack Daniel, he was the first master distiller for Jack Daniel Distillery. And Jack Daniel Distillery's original distillery number was distillery number 7. Nearest Green is the only known master distiller to ever operate at distillery number 7.
This is history that most people don't know. And this has been in the news for a while, but Nearest Green actually taught Jack Daniels how to make whiskey. A black man. I'm pretty sure most people in the chat have heard of Jack Daniels, but some people in there saying I didn't know. Look at Ty Pro said, I did not know that a brand of whiskey was a black woman. I'm going to grab a bottle. That's why we do these live streams, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that.
I thought, if we can prove this, this changes everything. Because for African Americans for so long, the way that we have seen ourselves or the way that we've been portrayed is that these enslaved people came in and they were uneducated. That is not true. They were educated in their own country, in their own language. And so for my 40th birthday, I decided I wanted to go to Lynchburg, Tennessee. I want to see if what I think is true, which at the time is completely opposite of everything that was in social media, everything that was in the press at that time, was Jack is a slave owner, he stole the recipe, he hid the slave, they've tried to hide this for the last 150, 160 years, and I had a completely different theory. This is a story of love, honor, and respect, and it's an ally who wanted to make sure America could not wipe his friend away, his mentor away, this insignificant person away. One of the first people that we meet in the library, when I'm sitting there across from my husband doing research, is the second eldest living descendant of Jack Daniel, who offers to help, who literally...
And he was actually in the Air Force. I'm pretty sure y'all seen them stripes.
He pulls out her cell phone and gives me the name and number of Nearest Green's descendant who had been doing genealogy research for 30 years. And then she said, hey, you know that book that you read called Jack Daniel's Legacy? It's his biography written in 1967, height of the civil rights era. And you have this white reporter from Alabama comes up, interviews all of the people who knew Jack best. And they include Nearest and his boys more time than Jack's own family. In 1967, if you didn't want to credit a black man, you just left him out of the book. You left him out of the story.
How many times black community, how many times does that happen to black folks, man? Our history is so strong that some of the stuff that we've done has been hidden in these books. And that's why I encourage black folks to read a little bit more or just, find the knowledge somewhere, right? This is a good story. So fair use.
Shared this with Jack's descendant. And she's like, yes, we all grew up together. The story that's out there is not the true story. And so in that book, a lot of it takes...
Look at that. That is an amazing green. I can't wait to go, man. That's going to be amazing. Hold on.
Place on this farm, this 313-acre farm right in the hills above Lynchburg, Tennessee. And she says to me, hey, you know that farm? It's for sale. At that time, I thought this could be a book. This could be a movie. Within a week, we had made an offer, it had been accepted on that property. And now all of a sudden we're going, well, what are we gonna do with this?
So remember, she started this journey at the age of 40. So it's never too late, man. I mean, I understand some people may, become stagnant, but 40 years old, And look at what she's doing now.
The realtor who took us
Fair use.
is a descendant of Jack Daniel, who took us to see the house. Turns out she had been in the family business her whole life. She had retired after 31 years as the head of whiskey operations for Jack Daniel. And she says, hey, I know you're gonna do a book and you're gonna do a movie, but if you ever decide to put his name on a bottle, I'll come out of retirement to make sure you get it right. The serendipity of everything that was happening, the only thing I could do was literally look to the heavens and go, all right, Jack and Nearest, what are y'all doing up there?
What helped me to find my purpose, or allowed me to live so that I could live in my purpose, is the same reason we are talking about Nearest Green's legacy today. Because the only difference between Kentucky bourbon and Tennessee whiskey is what Nearest Green taught: charcoal filtration. Truly, it was the same charcoal being utilized to.
So, and this is like how she came full circle. When she tried to delete herself, they pumped her with charcoal. And now she's speaking on that.
Purify my body after a second attempt at my life.
When we began this, we knew that there had never been an African American, a Black American, to succeed in founding and leading a spirit company in the history of American spirits. Now, mind you, American spirits have been in our country for over 400 years, and never once was there a Black American that had ever succeeded. We have a lot more money these days, and so our buying power is strong. And as our buying power has gone up, we've become the face of all these brands, but we didn't own it. And
yeah, and I know people like to say Black people don't own anything, but we actually have a lot of buying power, and we own more than you think. We're going to discuss it here in a second. However, our buying power is pretty good, but we just got to put it in the right places. So she is absolutely right. Fair use.
And so the question was, why? And I didn't have that answer, but what I knew is this industry wasn't set up for me to succeed. So every time someone would give me advice, I would completely disregard it and do the opposite. So everyone told me, you should start in one state, build over the next 4 years or so in that one state, and then try to pick up the states that are adjoining it. I went to my chief business officer and I said, I want to be in all 50 states by the end of the first 2 years. Why? Because there's a reason that strategy has failed us. Even investors that I have brought in were like, Fawn, why would you invest so much in a distillery when none of these other bourbon brands are spending that kind of money? Put all that money into marketing. And I looked at it and said, the home place for Uncle Nearest Green Distillery, is going to become the best marketing tool that we had. So I announced, we're going to spend $50 million on building out a distillery. We weren't even 2 years old. People are like, this woman is crazy. Like, legitimately, this woman is crazy. She has no idea what she's doing. She's going to fail. And quite frankly, if you look at the moves I was making, I should have failed.
Yeah, and she took a lot of risks that they tell you not to take because, and I mentioned that there's a lot of people that didn't know that there was a Black-owned whiskey brand, Uncle Nearest. It's because of the fact that she didn't put a lot of investment into marketing. If you guys notice that, right? When was the last time you seen an Uncle Nearest commercial during a basketball game? I'm pretty sure you've seen some other alcoholic beverages. Hell, Diddy's in the headlines right now. When Ciroc was hot, there was a Ciroc commercial, on every other channel, every other, sports show or whatever was going on. You would see a Ciroc commercial with the different flavors. That's how people got hooked on it, so to speak. But she didn't put a lot of money behind marketing, but she is now. You can start seeing it out there a little bit more. But yeah, once she got established, then they started to put in a little bit more marketing. So let's see here. MX says 499 just said, when Black people start focusing on leverage instead of money, we will thrive harder. Yeah, we definitely getting there. We definitely getting there. Let's see here. Let's go. Here we go.
But they were the right moves.
Fair use.
And so we were able to transition very quickly every single time an obstacle had come our way because we owned the land, which meant we truly owned the brand. And so many of the bourbon companies that have come before us that sold, they didn't sell because those founders wanted to. They sold because they had to, because they ran out of enough money to be able to lay down enough bourbon. And for us, we began investing in assets so early, bourbon goes up. So if I put it in at $750 in the barrel and I can sell it a few years later at $1,600, guess what? I can find investors to invest in that. I can.
Hence why I'm in the whiskey business. I showed you guys the whole process in regards to how I bought my barrel, why I went out there to see the grounds. So yeah, so what she is saying is absolutely correct. I've been through all the classes, the courses prior to purchasing my barrel of whiskey. Is that something that you guys wanted to get into? I will definitely link it in the description once I clip this video up. Okay, so let's continue. Fair use.
Find banks to invest in that because that's real property. This land is real property. These buildings that we have built, real property. Having a Black-owned company pass to the next generation, we've not done that. Every generation of Black Americans have started from scratch. Every single one. And now we have the opportunity to set the next generation up to not have to start from scratch. Diageo, Bacardi, Brown-Forman, LVMH, every single spirit conglomerate in this country, 90%, if not more, of the volume of alcohol sales all come from these spirit conglomerates, all founded by white men, all still chaired by white men, led by. And so having the opportunity to build a spirit conglomerate, the very first ever to be built by a person who was not a white male, that can't happen with just Uncle Nearest. That has to be whiskey, there has to be cognac, there has to be tequila, there has to be vodka. And so Uncle Nearest is one pillar in this house that will pass to the next generation.
Okay, so let me explain what's going on here. Give me a second. So let me explain what's going on here. So I know you guys are probably asking, where we see a lot of celebrities, they have their own, liquor brands and things of that nature. What you guys don't know is those companies or those people, their liquor is being sold under another company, a bigger company. Like, let's say Jack Daniels. Let's say Uncle Nearest was a product of Jack Daniels. They would be making their whiskey with Jack Daniels products, right? And then they would sell it as Uncle Nearest. That's not what's happening here. Uncle Nearest has a distillery. She built a distillery, okay? So they produce their own whiskey. So, if you see like one of these celebrities and they have like a new vodka or a new tequila, it's probably getting made from another distiller, a bigger brand. This is not Uncle Nearest, okay? So that's why this is very important. It's not like she's saying, yeah, I got my own whiskey brand and Jack Daniels is the one that's supporting it and they get a percentage of it. No. Okay? So so let's get to it. Fair use.
Failure rate for new brands that launch. I'm one of the 1% to succeed. It would have been so easy to sell it for $1 billion and just go, I'm just gonna rest. But to know that my purpose is so much greater and that no matter how hard it was, there wasn't a price that they could buy this company for, and that I've stood my ground even when people were like, she has to have a number. She has to have a number. They've thrown every number at me and gotten the same response. No. That's what I'm most proud of.
Did y'all see that? Let's go back. Let's do some figures here. Today, Uncle Nearest's annual revenue is estimated at $80 million a year and is on track to reach $100 million this year. Forbes conservatively estimates the business is worth $1.1 billion. Man, if that ain't impressive, I don't know what is. and you can find this video on Forbes YouTube channel. That was absolutely amazing. $1.1 million. She started the business at 30 or at 40, and she built her own distillery. People are actively trying to buy the brand because it is that valuable. The whiskey is amazing. I should know because during my 44th birthday, I actually had me a taste or two on camera after I was doing a live stream. I love the 1856. This is the premium version. Very strong, manly. So I definitely enjoyed Uncle Nearest whiskey. I have a bottle in there at my bar right now. So yes, it is absolutely an amazing whiskey. I guarantee that you guys will enjoy it. And also here's some pictures from me going to the Jameson distillery, seeing some of the old bottles right there. And then headed out to Macallan. Welcome to the Macallan distillery. So that's your boy. That was one of the highlights of my, of last year for me. I enjoyed that trip so much, man. They set us up right. You guys can research this, man. It's a whole day trip, right? So basically what you do, you check in, you buy your tickets or whatever, and they'll receive you. They'll take you on a tour of the grounds. They'll teach you everything that you need to know about how they make the whiskey, even behind the scenes, where they tell you to put up your phones because we don't want to give our secrets out. And then they sit you down for a 5-course meal. Yes, a 5-course meal. And, and they explain, it is the red carpet laid out. It is absolutely amazing. After that, they finish up the tour, and then they take us to the gift shop where you can buy your bottles of whiskey, or you can buy, whatever some glasses, some tweed jackets, whatever they have there, you can purchase it. Of course, I had to grab my wife some Lalique crystal glasses. I still have those in there. We do not touch those. Those are in the trust, and they will be an investment because Lalique is a very expensive crystal, and I actually bought her some. So yeah, so it was an amazing trip, guys. The trip to Jameson was amazing as well. If you guys get a chance and you travel a lot, please get out of your norms and go to these different countries. I spent a lot of time in Europe. I spent a lot of time, on that side of the world. So it's my favorite continent to visit. Okay, just putting that out there. So yeah, please make sure you support Uncle Nearest Whiskey. And if you have a chance, if you please go out and visit, because I'm definitely going to visit, and I'm going to take video of everything. Hopefully I get to meet Fawn Weaver. So she seems like a amazing woman. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that history lesson. She made Black history. 1.1 million. So yeah, that was a great one. So, all right. So I'm glad we started off with that. So let's get into some of the educational stuff. So the Brookings report, I actually put it in the PowerPoint slide to help you guys understand. I'm not going to do death by PowerPoint. It's just a couple of slides to give you some of the ins and outs of the actual report. And if you want to check that report out for yourselves, because there is much more than what I'm about to explain to you guys. Hold on, let me show you real quick. See that? Okay, so this is the Brookings report. You guys can check that out. And as you can see there, we got 2 lovely Black women on the cover. All right. So there it is right there. And here is the link for you guys to check all this information out for yourself. Because like I said, I could be lying. So y'all need to fact check me. That's just my way to get y'all to read. So I know it's corny, but it is what it is. I don't think that link, it didn't share in one chat. So you may have to look it up for yourself. But you guys see, go to Brookings and just type in, or go to Google, type in Brookings and driving prosperity. But without further ado, let's get to this PowerPoint here. So we can have some fun. Take us back to school, I guess. Here we go. So, Black business and entrepreneur facts. The good, the bad, and the way forward. I made that up. So, let's see here. Hold on. All right. And like I said, the Brookings Institute, Driving Prosperity, How Black-Owned Businesses Fueled Recent Economic Growth. And there are your authors and publishers right there. Just released February 19th, 2025. Very recent. Okay, so let's start here. Make that a little bit. Let me see. I know you guys probably can't see that, but I'll read everything off. There we go. Okay, so Black business facts. First, Black business ownership jumped. Black businesses added $212 billion to the U.S. economy in 2022. $212 billion. Paid out $61 billion in total salaries. It's crazy, right? Between April 2020 and July 2020, business applications more than doubled from 235,000 to 546,000. So business applications are Black people that applied for new businesses between that time frame, April to July 2020. And what was going on during that time? CV. So business applications remain high throughout 2022 at 423,000 in December of that year. That's crazy, right? Employer businesses increased by 56.9% between 2017 and 2022. An employer business is a business with at least one worker, okay? 70,000 of the 132,000 employer businesses were Black owned. That was started between 2017 to 2022. So we started more than half of the businesses between that time frame, okay? And here are some of the findings. Black-owned businesses increased from 2.2% in 2017 to 3.3% in 2022. This representation is still far below Black Americans' 14.4% share of the U.S. population. So our goal as a community should be to eclipse that. If we represent 14.4% of the population, we need to own at least 15% of the businesses. So there is a way forward. I'm going to put these little nuggets in here. So if you guys are taking notes, please do so. 14.4% of the businesses, we need to strive to our 14.4% of the population, 15% of the businesses owned in the United States. That should be one of our goals, okay? Since 2017, Black female-owned businesses increased by 71.6%. Now, I know this is a sticking point in the Black community. We've heard that Black women own the most businesses and they are the highest amount of entrepreneurs. But as I stated right there, since 2017, their businesses has increased. So shout out to Black women. However, that does not reflect all the businesses in the Black community. But one thing we rarely talk about is if Black men's businesses actually increase. We're going to discuss it. Here we go. So Black-owned employer firms in transportation and warehousing, as well as real estate, rental and leasing doubled. So in those fields, the businesses doubled. And I'm not shocked to see real estate because I see a lot of our women going into real estate these days. Healthcare and social services continue to be the industry with the highest number of Black-owned businesses. The share of Black ownership in this industry increased from 6% to 7.5% from 2017 to 2022. And also Black-owned employer businesses, like I said, are flourishing in the South and the East. And like I put on the thumbnail, Atlanta is killing y'all hoes. I wanted to say that. But yeah, ATL ho. I don't know what y'all doing over there. That is definitely the Black Mecca because most of the Black folks is starting businesses in that Atlanta, Roswell, Georgia area. So whatever y'all doing over there, hey, keep cooking because y'all are definitely the city that the Black community is probably looking at. The South and the East, particularly Atlanta, Roswell area, Georgia. Shout out to y'all. Who from Atlanta in the chat? Let me know. You own a business? Give us some money. All right, now put this in the back there because I wanted to make it as large as possible. Pause. Black-owned employer businesses increased by 20.8% to a total of 194,000 firms nationally. So right in the back there, from 2017 all the way to 2022, you can see how it increased. So again, before, because I know in these spaces we like to talk about what the Black community isn't doing. And I try my best not to do that. And this is one of the reasons why. We always focus on what's next when we never celebrate what we're doing right now. The Black community is absolutely improving, slowly but steady. Okay? So we need to celebrate that instead of point, well, we need to do more. We need to do more. Yes, the Black community is increasing their business ownership. That should be applauded. And you should give it time to marinate, so to speak, and appreciate and celebrate these small wins. We need to do a better job at that. I think the Black community focuses too much on the negative, and we need to start focusing on the positive. And that goes for people as well. I know Diddy going through some shit right now, but do you know how many Black doctors just graduated high school or graduated college? A lot. Okay? So we need to start focusing on the positive a little bit more. All right? Let's continue. Now, this is very small, but I'll go ahead and tell you guys what we're looking at here. So these are the employer business characteristics by race and ethnicity. And I just I changed it to share of employer businesses and ranked it as such. So, of course, you got white folks. White people own 81.1% of the employer businesses. Asian Americans own 11.1%. Hispanics own 7.9%. And then you have Black folks. Out of the largest racial demographics, we come in last at 3.3% of the employer businesses. And then, of course, smaller minority groups, American Indian and Alaska Native and Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islander. So out of the four major racial groups, we absolutely come in last. So the only group, the only two groups actually that own more businesses than their population is white people and also Asians and Hispanics, or Asian people. My bad. Let me see here. Hispanic, 7.9%. Share of the population, 18.7%. So again, as I stated before, our goal should be to own 15% of the United States businesses. We are currently at 3.3%. And you can see the revenue of employer firms. You can see the amount of number of employees. All this can be found on the report. I just downloaded the picture. All right. Let's continue. All right. So the gap in Black business ownership by gender. And I know these are hot topics in the Black community. So let me just explain, as I stated before, but in 2017 to 2022, Black female-owned businesses increased by 71.6%, which is a higher rate than Black-owned and female businesses overall. So that's another quoted, quoted line that you hear in relationship discussions when I've heard Black women say, we own the most businesses. No, remember, like I said, and this is just for the Black women who think that that means that Black women own the most businesses as entrepreneurs. No, it's just for that snapshot. You guys have increased a lot. Okay, 71.6%. And honestly, I don't know why that's not applauded by Black women, on their own. Instead of conflating the information, just tell the truth. Black women have done very well between that 5-year gap in regards to starting businesses and owning businesses. That should be applauded. You don't have to put sauce on it. Okay? Just leave it at that. Y'all doing good. So total revenue of Black female-owned employer businesses increased by 82.1%, while Black Male-owned employer businesses saw a 63.9% increase in total revenue. Okay, so black men increased also. And then look, black male-owned employer businesses saw greater increases in the number of employees, 43.7%, and annual payroll, 75.4%, than their female counterparts, who increased their employee count by 31.8% and payroll by 67.9%. So even though they juxtapose it against, black women, black men are doing very well, and also black women are doing very well in regards to increasing their number of employees and their annual payroll. So we both win. It shouldn't be any fight or trying to put sauce on the statistics. There you have it. Good job, black community. Goodness. We always trying to rumble. Let's continue. All right. So this is the gap in business ownership. And like I said, we just went over this information. But you guys can see this chart on the Brookings report. And this is just a percentage change in black-owned businesses. This is an interactive chart. So I just took a screenshot or a picture of it. So if you want to, mess around with it, once you go on the website, you can. Once you scroll over it, it will tell you the actual percentages. And this is just showing black female people, black male people, black people overall, female people overall, and male people overall. So the blues, the darker blues, represent black females and black males. Okay. So there you go. So of roughly 70,000 new black-owned employer businesses created, just talked about that. Fewer than half, 32,000, were female-owned, despite female people comprising 51.8% of the U.S. black population. So black men actually started more new-owned employer businesses from 2017 to 2022. But that doesn't negate the fact that black women increased their business ownership during that time frame. So if black women owned or started 32,000 businesses between that time frame, what is my public math before I get effed up? 36,000. Black men started about 36,000 during that time frame. Okay, so that's all they're saying. It is what it is. Everybody doing good. Everybody gonna eat. So some industries saw a sharp jump in black-owned businesses. Nationally, healthcare and social assistance is the industry with the most black-owned employer firms, a spot it has held since 2017. However, Table 2, and it is on the report, shows that in other top 10 industries for black entrepreneurs, there was notable growth. The number of black-owned businesses in the transportation and warehousing industry increased by nearly 150%. Wow. From 2017 to 2022, with the industry share of black employers growing from 3.8% to 7.9%. Wow. And then real estate, as we discussed, real estate is doing well. That black-owned employer business doubled in the same period, making it the industry with the 9th highest number of black-owned employer firms in 2022. We are improving, guys. Oops. Here we go. And these are, I'm going to explain this for you guys here in a second. So these are the top 10 industries by number of black-owned employer businesses. And I'm going to stop right there because I know when you guys read this report, you're probably like, well, what businesses are in there? You see healthcare and social assistance. You see professional, scientific, and technical services at the top. But for the lay person, I'm pretty sure you guys are probably like, well, yeah, we see the reports and we kind of know what healthcare is, but what businesses are actually in those particular groups? That's why I'm here. Let's take a look, shall we? Hold on. Let's stop that right there. Of course I can't prepare because I know we got some smart folks, but a lot of people may not know what type of businesses are in that particular group. So I did a quick breakout for you guys. And please make sure you hit that like button. And also, if you got anything to add, send a super chat. Hook your boy up. All right. So this is just the same picture that I showed you guys. However, I did break it down by using graphs from Simplicable. All right. So in the retail industry, which essentially means the sale of goods and services to end customers. So businesses such as antiques and collectibles, convenience stores, fast food, discount retail, e-commerce, fashion, so on and so forth. So you guys see those? These are the different types of businesses under retail industry. This is what it means. And then generally speaking, fast food is viewed as retail and restaurants as hospitality. Okay. And then you have the cultural industries, which is advertising, animation, architecture, bars and pubs, entertainment, music, night economy, publishing, video games, so on and so forth. And then you also have the media industry, advertising, content creators, your boy, digital media, film industry, public relations, social media, streaming media. So essentially anybody in the content creation space, you would fall under media industry. All right, let's continue. And then entertainment, you got activities and attractions, digital media, social media. Some of these overlap, so this is pretty good. Traditional media includes things like television, radio, and magazines that existed before digital media. It's pretty cool. And then you also have technology industry. For my tech guys, aerospace, shout out to the Air Force, biotechnology, agricultural technology, digital advertising, hardware, industrial automation. So wherever my IT folks are, there you go. You are represented. And then hospitality and tourism. You guys are probably familiar with the airlines, cafes, catering, nightclubs, restaurants, recreation facilities, spa and wellness facilities, so on and so forth. And then financial industry, of course, asset management, commercial banking, investment banking, mutual funds, payment processors, private equity, so on and so forth. Okay. So there's just a simplified breakdown. There's so much more that you could probably find there, but that should help anybody out if you had any questions about what those groups mean. Okay. When we're talking about healthcare and social assistance, transportation and warehousing, those are the particular businesses, all right, are what they fall under. So hopefully that helps somebody. Let's see here. So let me go back to our death by PowerPoint. Here we go. Oh, my bad, Pooh Man. Pooh Man gifted 1 Medium Man membership. Thank you. If you were the recipient of that membership, please make sure you keep it up and make sure you attend Sundays at 10 a.m. Houston time. We go live for our members only chat. All right. Thank you, Pooh Man. Appreciate that, brother. All right. ATL ho. I always wanted to say that. Who says that? Was that Little Scrappy back in the day? Am I old? Okay. So the greatest numerical increase was in Atlanta, where an increase of nearly 7,000 businesses doubled the share of Black-owned employer businesses in the city. An even greater proportional increase occurred in Charlotte, North Carolina. Shout out to Grown Men Talking over there, Meet to Mary, which gained 2,105 Black-owned employer firms in the 5-year span. But Baltimore saw a decline, I love Baltimore, in the number of Black-owned employer businesses in 2017 to 2020, but a major uptick from 2020 to 2022. So shout out to Baltimore. Overall, the city gained 1,168 Black-owned employer businesses over the 5-year period, at 42.2% increase, placing it 14th nationwide in terms of growth. There you go. I love Baltimore, man. That's where my home is. Well, Severn, but my other home. ATL, yeah. Shout out to Lil John. Who live in Atlanta? Black owned employer businesses. There you go. So you see this big ass circle? That is the Atlanta, Sandy Springs, and Roswell, Georgia area. Gained almost 7,000 black-owned employer businesses, 102% increase from 2017. 39.90% of the population is black, while 11.3% of the employer businesses are black-owned. So black people as a whole own 3.3% of black-owned businesses. In Atlanta, that particular area, that small area, 11.3%. So, man, and I wanted to highlight that in particular because I think that needs to be discussed and it needs to be applauded. We hear about a lot of the negative things that come out of Atlanta, in regards to, the HIV rates, STIs, alternative lifestyles, the crime. But Atlanta is booming, man. And I know there's a lot of people that move to Atlanta for, bigger business ventures and things like that, networking. It could absolutely happen. So as much negative publicity that Atlanta gets, we need to start focusing on the positive. That will be right now is considered the black business mecca. Okay. So shout out to you, AT aliens or whatever, however you say it. How did they say it? AT aliens. How did Outkast say that? I don't know. But yeah, shout out to y'all. So Atlanta on the map. And this is just more information on Atlanta. At the top there, the black-owned businesses. Then you got Miami, Florida coming in. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Florida coming in second. And this is for the number of total black-owned employer businesses created. You have Washington / Arlington, Alexandria. That's my DMV area. Los Angeles is 1, 2, 3, 4. Dallas, 5 with 2,900. New York, Newark, New Jersey. Let's see here. Yeah, so that area up there. Then you got Houston. Yeah, my hood, so to speak, with 2,300. Philadelphia, Charlotte, Chicago, rounding it out with 1,500 businesses. All right. Anybody live in those areas? Just shout them out. From 2017 to 2022, these are the top 10 largest increases in the number of black-owned employer firms by metro area. Metro. Shut your whole ass up. Oh. There you go. Who's from any of these areas? Let's see here. Let's continue. All right. So, of the 94 metro areas that saw negative or no growth in the black-owned employer businesses, St. Louis, I regret saying this, but St. Louis saw the greatest decrease with the loss of 2,500 black-owned firms. However, despite this exceptional loss of businesses in St. Louis, the metro area still ranked 12th for the most black-owned employer businesses overall in 2022. The second largest decrease was in Gainesville, Florida, which lost 110 black-owned employer firms. So what I noticed, and hopefully there's some people that's from St. Louis, and you guys can tell me, why is that? Why has St. Louis lost so many businesses? I tried to do my research, but I don't have boots on ground. I don't know what, St. Louis is looking like. I've been there once, but yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why that is. But if you are from St. Louis, please speak up in the chat and educate us all. What's going on with black businesses and why have they decreased, even though they're still ranked 12th? And then also Gainesville, Florida. Isn't that where the Florida Gators play, the college team? What I've learned, after doing some research, how well the team goes is how well businesses in that particular area go. Isn't that crazy? So if the Florida Gators are doing very well, then the businesses will essentially thrive, Black-owned businesses, because of, food and goods and services. Yeah. So that's what everybody is saying. So I guess a lot rides on the Florida Gators doing well, because I did a kind of side-by-side comparison back in the day when Tim Tebow was playing. Oh, yeah, everything was good in Gainesville, Florida. But now, I mean, it's tough. So what are the Florida Gators doing? The Gators, what was their record last year? Florida Gators record. Any Gators fans? Football 2024. Let's see here. Stay in browser. Oh, okay. So they were 8-5 in the conference SEC, which is very tough. They were 4-4. So in the SEC, every team damn near has high expectations. Because I'm looking at Texas, they were number 1 in the conference at 7-1. Georgia 6-2. So yeah, it means a lot. Football in the South, it means a lot. So that kind of makes sense. They came 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th, 10th place in the SEC. So how the Gators go is how the businesses go. So, so yeah, anybody Florida Gators fans? Let me push over. Nope. Got a Skinny said, I'm a Seminole. I can't stand Tebow. Business was booming when he was out there, though. Let's see here. Ronnie C said, I don't really follow college as much as the pros. Okay, cool. So no Gators fans. Okay. Are you not speaking up because you're ashamed? No, I'm just playing. And then the role of non-employer Black businesses in the future. These are our entrepreneurs with no employees. Future Black business growth. So although there was significant growth in Black-owned employer businesses from 2017 to 2022, to reach parity with the population, as I stated before, we would need to own 14.4%. I said 15%, just to make it a round number. And then that would be a substantial increase from the current 3.3%. All right. And this is just showing you the role of non-employer firms, made up roughly 96% of all Black-owned businesses in 2021. So let me explain what this means, because I know everybody kind of looks at these numbers and they're like, damn, 96.6% of the Black-owned businesses are non-employer. So I'll just use the Pop the Balloon show for an example. Everybody is an entrepreneur, which essentially is a business owner if you got the LLC or whatever it is, right? But if you are the only one working that particular business, then you are considered non-employer. So if I'm telling you that 96% of the Black-owned businesses only have one person working in them, then you would consider that bad, right? However, what they never, mention is that damn near everybody of all races have a high amount of non-employer firms. And you can see, even though Black folks, we are the highest, and don't get it twisted, right? But white folks, 82.9%. Hispanics, 92.4%. Asians, 81%. So those are some high numbers. So if the Black community can start employing more people, opening more businesses, get to that 15%, we'll be doing very well. But we got a long ways to go. We are making progress, but we need to do more. And that's for everybody. We know how it is. So yes, so I wanted to highlight this in particular for the people who like to scoff at the 96.3% number. Every race has a high amount of non-employer firms. All right. Hopefully that clears up some of these conversations that we have on social media. And again, I'm not negating the fact that we are the highest, but everybody is high. like Wiz Khalifa, Snoop. Okay. All right. I think that was the last one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad I left off on that. So, did you guys learn anything from that? We're not done with the statistics. I have another Pew Research report, but I want to break up the monotony, so to speak, and we're going to do a video that from one of my favorite content creators, the Swedish investor. This is on the psychology of money, and it is animated to make it a little bit more entertaining. You guys should definitely enjoy this. Did I get in these super chats? No, we good. We continue going. We got 10 so far, but I greatly appreciate it. 59 folks in here. Please make sure you like that button. Greatly appreciate it. Or click that like button and our subscribe button and become a subscriber. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Air Force Reek, for breaking up the drought with the $10 bomb. Said, this is why I show up every week to watch your live streams. Keep putting out necessary information, and please don't let these black women who hate stats deter you from doing good work. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate it. $10 bomb. Thank you, brother. All right, so let's get to it. Here's a video about the psychology of money. Let's get into some business and money talk. Here we go.
The story about Ronald Reed, the janitor that had $8 million in savings when he died in 2014. Yeah, you heard that right. Janitor, $8 million. And he didn't win the lottery or inherit the money either. He just saved consistently throughout his life, while letting the wonders of compounding do its thing. The moral is that your behavior with money is oftentimes more important than how intelligent you are. Even if you don't have a diploma from Harvard or work on Wall Street, you can become rich by just behaving in a sound way. As Morgan Housel puts it,
fair use.
Financial success is not a hard science. It's a soft skill where how you behave is more important than what you know.
And I'm pretty sure people have, I guess, lived or heard this sentiment before. Some of the best people that could tell you what to do with your money, they may be bad with their money, but they could tell you what to do with it, right? Your behavior is definitely the most important thing, no matter how much money you have. Depending on, when you get a lump sum of money, where you going to put it? What's your first priority? Is it to pay bills? Is it to go splurge? Is it to save? Is it to invest? Depends on you. And that is a behavior, like they said, a soft skill. Okay, let's continue.
Spend your next 10 to 15 minutes on this video and you might excel on the soft skill of investing. This is a top 5 takeaway summary of The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. And this is the Swedish investor bringing you the best tips and tools for reaching financial freedom through stock market investing. Takeaway number 1. Pay the price. Let's say that you want a new, nice watch. You go to the store to check out the offerings. You are really after something that will impress your friends and the lovely lady that you're dating. You now have
So let me, this is funny. It's funny. Most women, they know, the regular brands. Like if you go out and you wearing a Rolex, damn near everybody know what a Rolex is, right? And that's why men, that tends to be their first purchase, not only because they're great watches, right? It was, when I bought my first luxury watch, where did I go? I went to Rolex, okay? So yes, everybody knows a Rolex, but there are certain watches that you can get, people won't know. Like I own a Frederic Constant. That's one of my favorite watches, one of my favorite business watches. Most people don't know that brand, but that is an amazing, like basic luxury brand of watch. Absolutely amazing watches. You guys can see I got a moon face one. It's great. But yeah, most women really don't know the difference unless it's a Rolex. I mean, some may in regards to like Patek Philippe, because you see, the rappers talk about it. APs, Audemars Piguet, all those type of stuff. But other than that, there are a lot of, many different watches that you can buy. If they look nice and you like it, then go ahead and purchase it, man. I mean, I know that you try and keep up with the Joneses and you want to get a Rolex, but there are some lower entry, luxury watches. And I have I have a graph I can show you guys after this that'll show you what the different tiers are. Okay. So yeah, so let's continue.
Choice. Either you pay for the watch, or you steal it and run, because you have done your cardio, right? My guess is that you would choose option number 1, no matter your physical capacity. You would take out your card and swipe that thing. Do the right thing. The point is that you know that having a new watch comes with a price, a fee. And it's the same with...
So that's actually a Rolex. People call it the Hawk, Incredible Hawk. I've heard people refer to it like that. That green dial is absolutely amazing. So I have a Citizen watch with a green dial that looks similar to that. Of course, not as expensive. But yeah, I love that green face watch.
Investing. It comes with a price too. Throughout the videos on this channel, there are some recurring takeaways for high returns, one of them being a somewhat concentrated portfolio, with Peter Lynch perhaps being the exception. The concentrated portfolio brings with it a characteristic to your performance. It will be volatile. This is the price, the fee, for having high returns in the stock market over the long term. If you don't have the stomach to stay the course when your net worth decreases by, say, 20% during a single week, as 2 of your major holdings report quarterly earnings below what analysts expected, don't aim to maximize your returns, because the higher the returns, the higher this fee typically is.
So, and I'm stopping it a lot because I'm very passionate about investing. You guys have been here a bunch of times. I've done multiple live streams about investing, the ins and outs, but that is a particular point that I wanted to stop at because a lot of people will jump out once they see their, investments decrease, right? But you have to be in it for the long run with those long-term investments. Reason why I'm saying this is because when you invest, just like gambling, you have to automatically assume that that money is already spent or gone, okay? Some people go gamble at, in Las Vegas, and they're penny pinching because they're like, man, this money is allotted for my rent or something like that. Then you have a problem. You shouldn't be gambling if that money is allotted for something else. But if you have quote unquote FU money, then you can go gamble. Investing is a little bit more safer, in my opinion, and it actually, turns into something over time. So you have to stay the course. And if you see a little bit, go down, then you have some questions, and I will reach out to a financial investor, somebody who's been doing it, who's accredited, and they can give you some advice. But just don't jump out too fast when you see a decrease. I know Walmart is actually about to be going through. I haven't checked the market today. I will, but some of my Walmart investors from one of the chimes that I got, they're going through it because of the tariffs, so to speak. They're going to increase the prices. So the stock may go down, but I'm not going to get out. I've been investing with Walmart for a while. So I'm going to stay with them. Okay. So yeah, just remember that before, when you start investing.
Let's say you already 10 years ago could visualize Netflix's bright future. You invested a large portion of your net worth in the stock. Well, you would be quite a rich person today. However, could you afford paying the price for this journey? Netflix has, during this period, had many major downturns. Would you have sat still in that boat during 2011, for example, when Netflix lost tons of customers and the stock price fell 80% from its peak during the ensuing months? Your portfolio returns would look terrible. What would you tell your spouse and your kids? Could you stomach facing them, knowing that you might have endangered their future? Would you still think that being almost all in Netflix is a good idea?
Hey, wouldn't that be crazy? Fair use, by the way. Wouldn't that be crazy if your wife was like, man, you put all our money in Netflix and you're not taking it out? We need it. And you're like, man, I'm going to stay right there. And she end up leaving your ass. And then 10 years later, hey, 5 to 30 per share when you bought it at 34? She. You rolling in the dough, ain't you? She probably like, hey, babe, you taking her back? How many of y'all taking her back?
This is It's of course an extreme example, but even if you have something less extreme than an all-in Netflix approach to investing, you'll have to pay the price of volatility nonetheless. Let's say that you bought an S&P 500 index fund in 1980. You'd still have to face about 13 years combined when your investment portfolio was down 20% from its high, and about 8 months when it was down 50%. That's tough. Stock market investing is a great thing that enables wealth creation like few other options. But don't try to fool yourself. It doesn't come for free. All investors will experience volatility, and you have to look at this as the price you pay for a brighter future.
All right. So with investing, no stock continuously goes up. Even for my day traders, you guys will probably understand this. If you're doing calls or puts, right? You're just looking at it. You want, the puts. If it goes down, then you're like, okay, I need to get in right there and go ahead and sell or go ahead and buy, whichever one that you want to do. Or if you see it call and it's going up, then you have to bet on that and hit it at the right price point. So no stock will continuously has a upward trajectory. They all fluctuate. It just is what it is. How the stock market goes, how the economy goes, how the stock market goes. Consumerism, all that stuff plays a part. Oh, man. William K. Jones, man. Yeah, you feeling generous, brother, on this financial live stream with the $49.99 bomb. Said basically price fluctuations have only one significant meaning for the true investors. They provide him an opportunity to buy wisely when prices fall sharply and to sell wisely when they advance a great deal. Benjamin Graham. Good. Thank you for the quote, brother. Appreciate that. And thank you for the bomb. I think you was the first. Hold on. Didn't you drop a bomb in there already? Who was that? Yeah, you dropped the first bomb, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. Continue to see the show sponsor. Thank you, good brother. All right, let's get to it.
Takeaway number 2. Never enough.
It's a very interesting phenomenon that you can hand somebody a $2 million bonus and they're fine until they find out that the person next to them got $2.1 million, and then they're sick for the next year.
Capitalism is great at doing two things: generating wealth and generating envy. The urge to surpass your neighbors, peers, and friends can help energize your hard work and strive to really make it. And, of course, being motivated into becoming more productive and doing meaningful work is a good thing. But social comparison can also cause us to feel like we're never enough. Let's look at some statistics.
Right? That sounds exactly like social media. You guys ever notice there's people always try and tell billionaires what to do with their money. Have y'all noticed that? Or people with a lot of money? Dr. Umar is the worst at that. His approach is all bad. His likability with the black community or the people who have money who could fund this business. There are people in the black community that could have just gave Dr. Umar $5 million to build his dream. But the way he approaches it is like, man, y'all should be doing that. Or you should be doing that. Sound like women, right? In these dating spaces, you should be paying my bills. You can't approach it like that. Everybody's like, man, I hate billionaires. Like, bro, but if you was a billionaire, you wouldn't have that same idea. You wouldn't have that same outlook on billionaires, right? So it is what it is. Capitalism, when you make more money, people start to envy you. Envy turns to hate, and hopefully nothing occurs of that. So that's why you have to protect yourself. And I was just talking about this with one of my homeboys. In the black community, it seems like some of our most notable millionaires are too, I would say, too accessible, if that makes sense. Some of our multimillionaires still hang out in certain spaces where I think they shouldn't. You can make change from a distance. However, I would love to see for more black millionaires to separate themselves from certain areas and start to act like it. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I was using an example of like the guy or the person who made crayons. You don't know who made crayons, but you never see them or you don't know who they were. if they were walking down the street. There are a lot of people out there, and I forgot the guy's name, the guy that made the medical coder for the receipts or something like that. He was like, man, all hospitals have one of these or have a bunch of these, and every time they make a receipt, I get like a half a penny or something like that from it. And he's a billionaire, but nobody knows what he looks like. But sometimes our millionaires, our black millionaires, we just frequent in the same spaces as, and I hate to say it like this, but normal people. And I remember it's just been certain at times where you see one of our millionaires fighting, rumbling, arguing. And I'm like, bro, you shouldn't even be here. Yeah, this is my opinion. You can affect our culture without being there. And first thing that comes to mind is God rest the dead, Nipsey Hussle. That was very unfortunate. I remember that happened when I actually started my terminal leave when I was retiring from the military. And that was just a sad day. And I kept asking, I was like, man, what is he doing there with no security? And sometimes we just feel so safe. I mean, things happen, man. But God rest the dead with Nipsey Hussle, man. It's unfortunate. But yeah. Let's continue. Fair use.
To belong to the top 1% highest income earners in the US, you'd have to earn somewhere around $500,000 a year. That's what a highly specialized doctor, let's call him Bill, earns. And by almost any standard, Bill would be considered rich. He can afford to drive nice cars, go on long vacations to exotic countries, perhaps hire someone to do work which he thinks is tedious, etc. Bill has been feeling good about himself and what he has achieved financially in his life. Well, that was only until he bought a vacation home in the Hamptons and realized that he had Stan as his neighbor. Stan belongs to the top 1% of the 1%. He is a CEO of quite a large public company and earns a staggering $10 million per year. Now, you'd hope that at least Stan would be satisfied with his financial achievements. But nope. This guy was a childhood friend of Michael Jordan. And this all-time great basketball player is someone who belongs to the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. And well, compared to Michael's fortune of about $2 billion, Stan's yearly salary of $10 million suddenly seems like peanuts. Does it end here?
Nope.
Well, no, it doesn't. Because Michael occasionally attends parties with celebrities, where a guy named Jeff Bezos shows up. Bezos is the top 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. And he increased his net worth by about $75 billion in 2020, now sitting at something like $200 billion.
Man, could you imagine? $200 billion, Lord.
There's always a bigger fish.
Always.
The type of envy which has emerged from comparisons of this kind has caused a lot of people to do foolish things throughout history. Some have leveraged their portfolios to the teeth in order to move up to a higher pyramid, just to lose it all and then commit suicide.
Yeah, with the great market crash, there was a lot of people deleting themselves, jumping out of office building windows because, they tried to bank on certain stocks and things of that nature, people in the finance industry. It was a crazy time, man.
Some have acted on insider information and lost both personal reputation and then later their freedom when they've gone to jail. Many have forsaken their families and then had their partners leaving them or cheating on them, or both, as a result. By watching this channel and learning on how to become a successful investor, chances are that you will at some point reach a level of financial freedom that the average Joe can only dream about. But you need to, at some point, accept that enough is enough.
We will not trade something that we have and need for something that we don't have and don't need, even if we kind of like to have it.
Takeaway number 3. Crazy is in the eye of the beholder. At a first glance,
this part is good, y'all. Pay attention.
It seems like a lot of people do crazy things with their money. Some spend it in ridiculous amounts on ridiculous items, and others hide it under their mattresses. But the thing to remember is that people come from different backgrounds, with different childhoods, different parents, different life experiences, and different educations. All this adds up to different perspectives and different values. What seems crazy to you might make total sense for me. Morgan uses the example of lottery tickets in the book. The lowest income households in the US spends more than $400 per year on the lottery.
Crazy. Trying to hit it big, man. You see some of the most lowest earning people banking on winning the lottery. They there when the numbers come out every time, man. That's crazy.
This is 4 times more than the average in the highest income group. Combine this with the fact that more than a third of Americans cannot come up with $400 for an emergency. Do these people spend their emergency buffer on lottery tickets? Seems crazy, doesn't it? But again, we do not have the same perspective as these individuals. Try to see it from their perspective. They live paycheck to paycheck, with little room to save money. They often lack education, and thus they also lack a nice career trajectory. They can't afford a nice vacation or a new car, and they can't put their children through college without a mountain of debt. Buying a lottery ticket is their way of buying into the dream that many of us already live. That is why they buy more lottery tickets than we do. Not so crazy, after all, perhaps. So, how does this make you a better investor? For one thing, by acknowledging that we are different, we become less tempted to copying an investment portfolio or strategy which doesn't suit our own goals. For example, our risk profile might be higher than that of a billionaire's, as our focus is more on the getting rich part and not so much about staying rich. Copying the billionaire's portfolio might be suboptimal for your goals. Acknowledging differences can also help us to say no more easily to investments that are outside our own circle of competence.
Fair use.
Take GameStop, for example.
Man, y'all remember what happened with GameStop? I would have never thought that GameStop would have been in the news like that. When did that happen? Maybe 2 or 3 years ago? That was crazy. That was a crazy time.
As I am not a trader, I didn't participate in this drama at all. It's simply not my card to play. Understanding different people's perspectives, or at least that there are different lenses to see the world through, will help you make better sense of our society and lead you on the path that is yours.
Yeah, hold on. We're not done. I got a super chat. Thank you, good brother. A man supporting men. Thank you, good brother. $5 super chat said, "What's going on, media man? I pray all is well with you and your content. 7 brew coffee on me." I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. It is a cheat day. I did have a nice slice of cake. I put a picture on my cheat day AMSM. HEB has to be the greatest grocery store ever. The greatest, man. They have everything that you need in a nice little succinct individual pack to where you don't have to overeat. Because I remember back in the day, if I wanted to cheat on my diet, I would have to buy a whole ass cake and then it would be sitting on my counter. And I'm like, man, I can't waste it. So I got to eat it. Let me just go ahead and try and measure it out just to make sure it fits into my calories, knowing I was dead wrong for eating all that damn cake. But HEB, man, they cut slices of cake, y'all, and put it in the little refrigerator in the bakery section to where if you only want one, you just grab it and you get your ass up out of there. And that's what I did. I grabbed one piece of my favorite cake, the chocolate frosting with the yellow cake, and I ate that. Eat some cake, Mr. Hamoga. That was on Congo. Yeah, the original. But yeah, so it was amazing. That cake was great. I enjoyed that. I went to the gym. I got in the sauna. I weighed in. And as soon as I weighed in, I put my factor meal in. I grabbed my cake and I ate it. And I savored it, man. Oh my goodness. It was amazing. So thank you. I know AMSM didn't super chat for that, but I just told y'all that story. HEB is the greatest grocery store ever. So fight me. Shout out to Theo Coop. I heard him say that.
Takeaway number 4. Peekaboo. What does the Great Depression, World War II, the financial crisis, and COVID-19 all have in common? They were all events which shaped our society, they had huge impacts on the financial markets, and they were pretty much impossible to foresee. Nassim Taleb, who is one of my favorite authors, would refer to these events as black swans. The definition of a black swan is that
1. It's an outlier. Nothing that has happened before can convincingly point to even the possibility of the event. 2. It carries an extreme impact. 3. It becomes explainable only after the fact. Human nature fools us into believing that we should have been able to know it would happen all along.
Imagine it is Black Monday, 1987. How would you have reacted to the market losing almost 1/4 of its value in a single day? Would you have been one of the individuals that shouted, "Sell! Sell!" Or would you have been able to weather the storm? Perhaps putting in additional chips which you've kept on the sidelines.
Hey, didn't they cover this in the Wolf of Wall Street when he first started working with Matthew McConaughey? I think they covered Black Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all let me know. Correct me in the chat.
Here's an interesting fact. If you invested in the S&P 500 index 20 years ago, but you missed out on the 4 best performing stock market days, you'd have a 164% return instead of 291%. That's quite a big difference. The moral of this takeaway is that it's more useful to prepare yourself, both mentally and financially, for a disaster which you cannot foresee, than hoping that you're able to react before everyone else.
Yep.
Stop listening to macro projections. The things that will cause big fear among the investment community in the future are the things that are unlikely to be foreseen anyways. Takeaway number 5. The seduction of pessimism. If I were to give you a bunch of reasons to why the market will crash later this year, mentioning the gigantic US governmental debt, that stimulus checks may lead to the return of inflation, and perhaps something about a new strain of COVID-19, you would most likely be intrigued, and perhaps end up with quite a negative view of where in the market cycle that we are at the moment. Were I instead to give you examples of why things probably will continue to get better, by showing how life expectancy is rising, how sustainable energy is getting cheaper, or how computing power is exploding, you would most likely shrug your shoulders and not think twice about it. We all know that the pessimistic person sounds so very intelligent, and the optimist sounds naive in comparison. Why is that? Daniel Kahneman, the author of Thinking Fast and Slow, says that asymmetry towards loss and listening to pessimists is an evolutionary trait. When directly compared or weighted against each other, losses loom larger than gains. Organisms that treated threats as more urgent than opportunities have a better chance to survive and reproduce.
Yep, that's a good point. And let me get to the super chat. My guy, AMSM, support your boy with the $5 bomb. He said, appreciate you for talking about money topics as well. It's a small percentage of you who do in the black man space. Oh, I enjoy this type of talk, man. Thank you. Yeah, y'all been here. You know, we talk about this all the time. I'm going to bring back those budgeting. That was fun. When we did the budgeting for the different cities, y'all were very interactive with that. So yeah, be on the lookout. We got to figure out what city we're going to budget for. And then we also need to figure out what gender the person is going to be and how much money we're budgeting off of. You guys remember those live streams? So yeah, where do we live? Did we do Chicago? I don't think we did Chicago. Did a budget for Chicago. We may use a young man living in Chicago making, what y'all say? Shit, we could put it at $100,000. $100,000, let's say 120 before taxes, about 100,000, what, 90 to 100,000? That would be fun. I'm gonna think about that. What city we gonna go to and do a budget? I'm gonna put a poll up and we're gonna figure this out. I'm gonna bring that back. But thank you, AMSM. Let's get to it. Fair use.
We tend to listen to pessimists more carefully, not only for evolutionary reasons, but also because progress happens much slower than setbacks do. Progress rarely happens overnight, but setbacks often do. Because tragedies and setbacks happen during much shorter time periods, it's much easier to create an intriguing and persuading story around it, and thus it receives more attention. To create an optimistic story about the future, we must look at longer time horizons. This often becomes more vague and less dramatic. Knowing that you will perhaps be more fascinated by a pessimist and less so by an optimist can perhaps help you becoming less asymmetric towards this in the future. The world is better than you think, as Sweden's Hans Rosling.
So this quick note, and this is why it's tough. It was tough for me to grasp around the stock market when I was first learning. I hated to try and day trade on puts because it was like me betting on the stock to go down, and that's counterintuitive to the way that you think. So it was much easier for me to invest in calls than it was puts, and I had to get out of that stigma of like, man, you need to get in on these puts. You know, stock is about to go down. I just hate betting on a stock doing worse. But I mean, eventually you come around and you start, buying into it, because essentially it's the same thing as, calls when the stock goes up, because we know the market is volatile. It's not going to be an upward trajectory all the time. So eventually the stock is going to go down, and that's where those puts come in. So is that when one of my mentors actually taught me that, I was like, oh yeah, I understand that. We good. So get out of that stigma if that's you too.
Would have said. So, you are not going to get rich in the stock market without paying the price of volatility. Envy is the worst of the 7 deadly sins. Never risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. Different perspectives cause different courses of action to become reasonable or rational. Instead of trying to foresee disasters, prepare yourself mentally and financially so that you can survive them. And be careful when taking investment advice. Understand that pessimism appeals more to your survival instincts than optimism does. That was it for today. But that was not it from Morgan Housel. Check out his book, it's a real gem. Here's a suggestion on what you can watch next if you want to understand more about human psychology and its relation to money. Cheers!
Great channel. So this is the Swedish Investor. You guys can find all of his videos on YouTube, much more. You guys will learn so much. But the reason why I want to play that video is because I know some folks ask about investing, but you got to understand how the market works. It's volatile, goes up and down. Don't get discouraged. And if you're in it for the long run, please make sure you leave those stocks alone. And also, don't run when you see stocks going down. That may be the perfect time to purchase. Okay. And also for the people who are, don't have a lot of money, I would say create your budget and see where you stand, how much debt you have. My thing is for you guys to pay off the debt first prior to investing, and then also build up your savings first. Emergency fund, all that stuff. Once you get all of that in order, then the market is yours. Just like Scarface, the world is yours. The market is yours. Because once you get into investing, you're gonna find you're gonna find found money, as we call it over here. Found money where you like, man, I ain't doing nothing with this money. Let me go ahead and purchase a share or something. That will be your vice. Okay, I promise you. Once you start getting into the business of buying shares of particular companies and somebody tells you, well, that means you own a piece of the company because you bought a share of that stock. It's going to start to make sense. And instead of spending, a little bit of money on a $20 shirt, you're going to start looking on your phone and be like, oh, shoot, a share of this stock is about $19. Let me go ahead and put that in there. And hey, people who invest, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, you're gonna find a way to put that extra money into the stock market because you're gonna start seeing it grow, and over time you build it up, bruh. The market is yours. Okay, and the reason why I'm pointing out investing is because that is one of the ways where the Black community can generate real generational wealth instead of just talking. Start there. Take care of your debt. Get your savings up. and get in that damn market. Okay? All right. Anwar Dunbar, what up though? $5 super chat said, salute media man. Our people need more of this. Oh yeah, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Glad y'all enjoying this stream, man. I get to talk investing. Always fun. So AMSN with the $10 bomb, he said, as of today, I went from paying $250 a month for a cell phone to a $30 a month for cell phone service. But the saved money has got to go somewhere. So I'm thinking about a gym membership at Lifetime. That's right. Y'all know me. I love Lifetime. That is my home. If it wasn't for Lifetime, I don't know where I'd be. I love commercial gyms. I don't mind going to one of those, niche gyms where it's small, throw some weight around, but I'm a little bit older. So I need some of the services, and I'm not doing a commercial for Lifetime, but I enjoy it. The atmosphere, the available weights, all that stuff. But yeah, shout out to you, AMSM, man. Let me know. Give us an update on that, man. Let's see here. LJ said that's an investment in yourself. It absolutely is. That's the motivation that we need, brother. That's the motivation we need. So this is good. And again, thank y'all for sending in the super chats on live streams like this. Of course, we're going to have fun on different live streams. The Pop the Balloon stuff, I definitely enjoy those. Go see my Big Mama video. But yeah, these, I enjoy doing. And we got some more statistics so we can level set the conversation of Black-owned businesses. And this is actually from Pew Research. And I've shared some of the information before. So I decided to go straight to the website so you guys will know exactly where to get this information from. Pew Research just put this out around the same time Brookings put their report out, February 12, 2025. They simply updated a couple things as well. So I want to point this out. More than 1 in 5 Black adults in the United States say owning a business is essential to their personal definition of financial success. And that was according to a 2023 Pew Research survey. Okay, so the way that they got this information in 2022, 194,000 firms with majority-owned Black or African-American ownership. And again, 3.3%, 3.4% were Black or African-American. We just went over this information. But the most important thing, and I'm going to give you guys a link here as well. But I wanted to show you, we already went over this stuff on the Brookings report, but I wanted to tell you guys who are the Black business owners. And then here we go. Before here, where are the Black-owned businesses located? And you can see right there, the South and the East. We highlighted that on the Brookings report. And you see right there, Georgia. Shout out to Atlanta. Cooking everybody, and also the DC area, DC cooking. And then who are the Black business owners? So here we go. There are more likely to be men than women. Some 54% of Black-owned business firms in 2022 had men as their majority owners, while 39% had women as the majority owners. Another 7% had equal male-female ownership. So that is important in these spaces because we kind of get things mixed up. And I touched on that in the Brookings report. Black women increased very much during that 5-year time span, 2017 to 2022. But when we talk about entrepreneurship and businesses owned, the majority of them are headed by Black men. So that is an overall aspect of Black businesses. But that does not take away from Black women's 71.6% increase of their business ownership between 2017 and 2022. Both need to be applauded. Make sense? We good? Okay. Now, and then also a little bit of the demographics of those owners. They tend to be middle age. Half of the Black or African-American business owners who reported their age group were in the ages of 35 to 54. If you guys remember, our best earning years is 25 to 54. Another 26% were 55 to 64. And 16% were 65 and older. And just 7% were younger than 35 years old. That's very telling in these spaces because we hear a lot of people saying, I'm an entrepreneur. You may be selling something, but it's not on the books, because we know now that only 7% of the businesses owned in the Black community are owned by people under the age of 35. Good? Good. All right. And then also a majority have a 4-year college degree, which is great. Among owners who reported their highest level of education completed, 27% had a bachelor's degree and 34% had a graduate or professional degree beyond a bachelor's in 2022. So that total, what is that? 57% of the businesses owned, the people have 4-year college degrees or higher. So there goes that degrees. And we all know that if you have a degree, you tend to earn more money. So it just simply makes sense. And here is, so again, like I said, this is just an update from the originally published report in 2023. They did an amazing job, but I want you guys to go ahead and take a look at this for yourselves so you can get all the information. But some of this stuff I definitely have to clip up because I see it in these conversations, these Black relationship conversations. This is what we call level setting the conversation. Okay, it's not to offend anyone. It's just to show you where we stand. Black women increase. Black men own the most businesses, and most of the businesses owned are owned by people who are above the age of 35 to 54. Okay, shout out to the Black community. Very simple. Okay, so now we get to the good stuff. 62 people in here. Richest Black billionaires. Pay attention to the list, and you see how many folks are on there and who was first. And this is from one of my favorite channels, Black Excellence Excellus. I've shared some of their videos prior. This is one of their most recent ones. So this should be a teachable moment, especially for Black men in particular, because I know we catch a lot of flack sometimes, but the majority of these billionaires are Black men, Black or African-American men. And I'm talking about African all across the world. So this should be good. Black men, here we go. Fair use, fair use.
In a world where wealth is often concentrated in the hands of a few, a new generation of Black visionaries is redefining success. From tech empires to entertainment dynasties, these Black billionaires have shattered barriers, amassing fortunes across industries like finance, manufacturing, and media. Without further ado, here are the world's richest Black moguls.
Oh, so real quick, I didn't ask this. Is there anybody in the chat from any country in the continent of Africa? Let me know. If you are from the continent, from Africa in any country, let me know, because Africans are heavily represented on this list. Not just heavily represented. Number one, let me show you.
The 22 Black billionaires who are redefining Black excellence.
Welcome to Black Excellence. This is where we celebrate Black excellence, achievement, and affluence. Our mission is to inspire you as we enlighten you.
Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest person, is the founder and chairman of Dangote Cement, the continent's largest cement producer. He owns 85% of publicly traded Dangote Cement through a holding company. The company has the capacity to produce 48.6 million metric tons annually and operates in 10 countries across Africa. In addition to cement, Dangote has diversified his business interests into sugar, flour, and salt production. His fertilizer plant in Nigeria began operations in March 2022, further expanding his industrial footprint. David Stewart is the co-founder and chairman of World...
We would talk about David Stewart before. I did a whole breakout live stream on Mr. Stewart. But anybody, I'm asking again because I want to know if you guys have heard of these African gentlemen and these African ladies who are on this list. Okay, cement, 29.3 billion. That is the richest Black man, African man in the world. Did you guys know that? Dangote, Mr. Dangote. All right, let's continue.
Worldwide technology, an IT services company he started in 1990. WWT provides technology products and services to large public and private organizations, including the US government. Under Stewart's leadership, WWT has grown into one of the largest African-American owned businesses in the US, with revenues exceeding $14 billion. Stewart's wealth is primarily derived from his majority ownership in WWT. Robert F. Smith is the founder of Vista Equity Partners, a private equity firm he established in 2000 that...
Everybody should know who Robert F. Smith is. The black community found out he had a white woman and they had a problem, but this dude does so much. If you go to his website, go to Google, type in Robert F. Smith, go to his website and see all his philanthropic endeavors. He supports the black community like no other. And it was just sad to see him reduced because he married a white woman. It's just sad. But yeah, Mr. Smith, here we go.
Focuses exclusively on investing in software companies. Vista manages over $100 billion in assets and is known for its strong performance, posting annualized returns of 31% since inception. Smith's wealth stems from his stake in Vista and its successful investments in enterprise software companies. Mike Adenuga is a Nigerian billionaire who built his fortune in telecommunications and oil. He is the founder of Globacom, Nigeria's second-largest telecom operator, which has expanded its operations to other West African countries.
Wow.
Adenuga also owns Conoil, an oil exploration company. His wealth is derived from his stakes in these companies, which have been successful in their respective industries. Abdul Samad Rabiu is a Nigerian...
Another Nigerian brother. See, I told you. That's why I keep asking, man. Who's from Africa? Y'all should know these names.
Billionaire and the founder of BUA Group, a diversified conglomerate with major operations in cement production, sugar refining, and real estate. His fortune largely...
I like Malik said, I just need 100K. I don't need a lot. It's funny.
Stems from his majority stake in BUA Cement, one of Nigeria's top cement manufacturers. By capitalizing on strategic mergers and expansion projects, Rabiu has grown BUA into an industrial powerhouse. He also established ASR Africa, directing substantial funds toward health, education, and infrastructure across the continent.
There we go, our first black woman. And you guys know who that is. Oprah Winfrey, $3.7 billion.
Oprah Winfrey is a media mogul, actress, and philanthropist who gained fame through her talk show, The Oprah Winfrey Show, which ran for 25 years. She leveraged her show's success into a media and business empire, including the launch of Oprah Winfrey Network, O Magazine, and Harpo Productions. Winfrey's investments in Weight Watchers and her production deal with Apple TV have further increased her wealth. She is also known for her philanthropic work, including the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa. Michael Jordan, widely regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time, has parlayed his on-court success into a substantial business empire. As of 2025, Forbes estimates his net worth at $3.5 billion.
$3.5 billion. Man, my guy MJ getting to the money.
Making him one of the wealthiest black billionaires globally. His partnership with Nike led to the creation of the Air Jordan brand, which remains a significant revenue source. In 2023, Jordan sold his majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets for $3 billion, a move that significantly boosted his net worth. Patrice Motsepe is the founder and chairman of African Rainbow Minerals, a diversified mining company with interests in gold, ferrous metals, base metals, and platinum.
Wow.
Motsepe's wealth stems from the mining industry, and he has expanded his business interests into financial services and sports. He owns a stake in Sanlam, a financial services company, and is the president of the Confederation of African Football. Motsepe is also known for his philanthropic efforts, having joined the Giving Pledge, committing to give away at least half of his wealth to charitable causes. Jay-Z is a rapper, producer, and entrepreneur who became hip-hop's first billionaire in 2019. He built his fortune through music, endorsements, and investments in various industries. Jay-Z co-founded Rockefeller Records, Rock Nation, and has stakes in Armand de Brignac Champagne and Douce Cognac.
Douce, I mean, I remember Douce. I still see it in the liquor stores. But Jay-Z, I think he had one of the greatest quotes that I ever heard. He said, "Man, everybody has a skill to become a millionaire, but they just have to figure out how to unlock it." He said, "You are born with a skill to become a millionaire, but you just got to figure out a way to unlock it." And that may be true. You know, if you can get to that point to where you can unlock it, so that's pretty good. It's a different way to look at things. I like that. So let's continue.
He also invested in Uber and co-owns the streaming service Tidal. His diverse portfolio and business acumen have solidified his status as a billionaire and whom many will argue the greatest rapper alive.
Uh-oh. Is Jay-Z the greatest rapper alive?
Adebayo Ogunlesi is the chairman and managing partner of Global Infrastructure Partners, a private equity firm specializing in infrastructure investments. GIP manages over $75 billion in assets and owns significant stakes in airports, ports, and energy companies worldwide. Ogunlesi's strategic investments and leadership in infrastructure have been key to his wealth accumulation. He also serves on various boards and is recognized for his contributions to finance and infrastructure development.
Wow.
Rihanna is a singer, actress.
Rihanna, 1.9 billion. Man, that was a great move to start the Fenty beauty care and, you know, clothing and stuff like that. You know, LeBron James, his wife I guess she just released or marketed her own skincare line, and the price point that she's starting at is like $95 or something like so. It's like a luxury brand. So that's pretty cool. She getting into the business as well. Dante Bryan, $5 super chat, said absolutely not. That's why he became an executive. Who? Absolutely not. What I missed? All right, let's continue.
An entrepreneur who achieved billionaire status primarily through her cosmetics brand, Fenty Beauty, which she co-owns with LVMH. The brand's inclusive product range and marketing have led to significant success. Rihanna also launched Savage X Fenty, a lingerie line, further expanding her business empire. Her music career and endorsements contribute to her wealth, but her business ventures are the primary sources of her billionaire status. Strivai Masiyiwa is the founder and executive chairman of Econet Wireless, a telecommunications company with operations in Africa, Europe, and the Americas.
Fair use.
He has also invested in renewable energy and fintech through Cassava Technologies. Masiyiwa's philanthropic efforts, including providing scholarships and supporting health initiatives, complement his business ventures. Michael Lee Chin is a Jamaican-Canadian investor and philanthropist. He made his fortune through investments in financial...
And everybody's wondering, yes, he's I think he's either Korean and black or Chinese and black.
...services, including a significant stake in National Commercial Bank Jamaica. Lee Chin's investment philosophy focuses on long-term holdings in well-managed companies. His philanthropic contributions, particularly...
So, and Mr. Chin, so he does long-term investments. You can actually I think he used to have his strategy and what companies he likes to invest in. And I'm not telling you this is not financial advice or anything like that. But if you want to see what companies he's invested in, I believe if you type in his name, you can probably find that list of what he was talking about. And he does videos and like seminars as well, where he gives people advice on what long-term businesses that he's invested in. So it's actually an amazing strategy. So go check him out. Hold on, let's see. All right, let's continue.
In education and healthcare are notable. Irvin Magic Johnson, renowned for his illustrious NBA career, transitioned into a successful...
Hold on, don't just say NBA career. Let's not do that, brother. You know what I'm saying? You give Magic his just due. That is the Los Angeles Laker great. Hey, we don't just speed past what's going on when it's Lakers on the screen. It's Magic now. Let's continue.
Entrepreneur post-retirement. He founded Magic Johnson Enterprises, which holds investments in various sectors including real estate, movie theaters, and sports teams. Johnson's strategic partnerships and focus on underserved urban communities have been pivotal in his wealth accumulation. His stake in Equitrust Life Insurance Company and ownership interests in sports franchises like the Los Angeles Dodgers have further solidified his billionaire
World Series
status.
champs.
Mo Ibrahim is a Sudanese-British entrepreneur who founded Celtel, a mobile phone company that operated in several African countries. He sold Celtel in 2005 for $3.4 billion and has since focused on philanthropy and governance in Africa through the Mo Ibrahim Foundation. His investments and commitment to improving leadership and governance in Africa have been central to his legacy. Sheila Johnson, co-founder of Black Entertainment Television, has solidified her status as a billionaire. Her financial ascent began with the
So there we go, Sheila Johnson. I'm pretty sure you've heard of her before. So that's 3 women on there. That's actually amazing.
2001 sale of BET to Viacom for $3 billion, a transaction that positioned her among the wealthiest African-American women in the United States. Following the sale, Johnson diversified her portfolio by founding Salamander Hotels and Resorts, a collection of luxury properties that have garnered acclaim in the hospitality industry. Her ventures extend into sports ownership. She holds stakes in the NBA's Washington Wizards, the NHL's Washington Capitals, and serves as president and managing partner of the WNBA's Washington Mystics. LeBron James, an NBA superstar, has diversified his income through endorsements, acting, and business ventures.
Wait. It's a Laker up here, man. I mean, can we give some respect? That's a Los Angeles Laker up there. So let's just take a moment, talk about LeBron James all you want, but let's just go ahead and acknowledge that there is a Los Angeles Laker up there.
He co-founded Spring Hill Company, a media production firm,
2 Lakers,
and has
mind
investments
you,
in Blaze Pizza
billionaires.
and other enterprises. James's strategic partnerships and focus on content creation have expanded his brand beyond basketball, contributing to his billionaire status. In 2022, Forbes officially declared him a billionaire, making him the first active NBA player to achieve that milestone. Folarunsho Alakija is a Nigerian...
That's the 4th woman.
Billionaire businesswoman, renowned for her pivotal role in the oil industry and her significant contributions to philanthropy. As the vice chair of Famfa Oil, Alakija's wealth is primarily derived from her company's stake in the Agbami oil field, one of Nigeria's most prolific offshore assets. Her journey to wealth began in the fashion industry, where she founded Supreme Stitches, a label that gained prominence among Nigeria's elite. Transitioning into the oil sector in 1993, she secured an oil prospecting license, leading to the establishment of Famfa Oil. Tyler Perry is a filmmaker,
There you go.
playwright, and entrepreneur known for creating the Madea franchise. He owns Tyler Perry Studios, a 330-acre production facility in Atlanta, which has been instrumental in producing numerous films and television shows.
Hey, Tyler Perry, man, I know he gets to the money, man, but he just put out a new show. It's going to be released. It's called like Divorced Wives. I'm like, Lord have mercy. Tyler Perry loved making movies of black women struggling in divorce. I just hated to see it, but I know he going to probably get a lot of traction because it's going to be a lot of foolery. And black women go watch it, but he just be putting y'all through hell on the screen, man. But shout out to him.
Perry's ownership of his content and studio has allowed him to retain a significant portion of the profits, contributing to his billionaire status. His deal with BET Plus and other ventures continue to expand his media empire. Tiger Woods, one of the most successful golfers in history, has earned substantial wealth through tournament winnings and endorsements. His partnerships with brands like Nike and Rolex have been lucrative. Woods has also ventured into golf course design and has a growing portfolio in real estate and hospitality. His continued presence in the sport and business ventures contribute to his sustained wealth. Harriet Tabuteau is the founder of Axum Therapeutics, a biopharmaceutical company focused on developing treatments for central nervous system disorders.
Man.
His significant ownership stake in the company, which went public in 2015, has propelled him into the billionaire ranks. Tabuteau's leadership in the biotech industry underscores his financial success.
We appreciate the fact that you stayed until the end.
All right, so shout out to Black Excellence Excellus. Was at 18 or 19 billionaires. I lost count, but yeah, man, we out there. We doing our thing. We doing our thing. Shout out to the Black billionaires. Let me see here, and I got one more that I want to review for you guys. Did I miss any super chats? No, we good. We are good, man. So I wanted to go over real quick the Goldman Sachs stuff. You guys remember when this went viral? I want to say, what year was that? 2022 or somewhere around that time. I remember I didn't have a TikTok account, but there was a lot of people sharing the videos where I seen a lot of Black women celebrating about the, Goldman Sachs, and they were saying that Black men were mad because we didn't get anything. It was just a sad time because I wanted to celebrate Black women because I know that they needed that money to start the businesses, but then it was like kind of placed against Black men like we were in a competition. But I wanted to just give you guys an update, and also to the Black women that are watching, the program actually works. Seriously, there are a lot of Black women that have been accepted into it and have benefited from the money that Goldman Sachs pledged to Black women to start those businesses. They've been through the I guess the educational portion, the course, the academy, and they, you could type it into YouTube, you could type it into TikTok. There are a lot of Black women that got accepted. So I just wanted to highlight that and then show the progress and the things that need to change with the Goldman Sachs funding. So hold on, I got a video for you guys real quick. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Fair use.
Goldman Sachs is thrilled to have you.
Goldman Sachs 1 Million Black Women Black in Business program is a curated series of workshops and trainings. It's an amazing opportunity to be able to help the fastest growing segment, which are Black women, and to really help them move from being a founder to a CEO and really focus on what they've done and celebrate how they've gotten started, provide tactical tools and strategies to help them grow and scale.
You all are CEOs of your business.
I am a CEO. I was a CEO before I came here, but being here just let me know that I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Black in Business is a game changer. It will put your career, your company, your trajectory on a whole different level.
We know that for sustained, inclusive growth, we need to invest in Black women.
This program is a catalyst for your business.
This is a beautiful, beautiful site.
It is an excellent opportunity to expand your business, to understand your business, and to build the sisterhood amongst all of us.
The sisterhood, but this is a good thing. So
what are we focused on? We're focused on turning your ideas, your dreams into reality and economic growth.
Making sure that I'm spending time with my business advisor and going through new processes and to help me understand what I needed to do to take my business to the next level is super important.
You guys are gonna learn from each other, and this spirit of community, you walked into this room not knowing each other, you're gonna leave connected with each other.
Let the sister out. One rise, we all rise.
I have learned that I am capable of more than I thought I was. I realized that a lot of the things that I needed, I already had.
You already have what it takes. It's just a matter of applying it.
My analytics are already off. I'm getting more and more views on my reels and content.
We've been treated like queens. The information is invaluable.
I plan to take the most of this and grow my business.
Now, are you ready to grow your business?
There we go. So shout out to them. Yeah, this is still going on. So I just wanted to let you guys know it is definitely benefiting a lot of Black women. So shout out to them. So I wanted to go to the website. So this is where it actually started. Guys, if you want to check it out, especially for the Black women that are watching, if you are trying to start a business, Goldman Sachs, they actually, over 10 years, they are investing $10 billion in capital, $100 million in philanthropic capital to 1 million Black women. And yes, there are still spaces in there. So you might as well go ahead and apply. And you can start here. We reviewed the Black Womenomics, investing in the underinvested a while back. We haven't touched the equalizing entrepreneurship. I will here very shortly, but if you guys want to read the report, you can find it on this website here, okay? Here, let me put the link in the description. There you guys go. I haven't read the Black Womenomics Equalizing Entrepreneurship yet, but I definitely will over the weekend, so I can get familiar with that. So this is where you find all the information, ladies and gentlemen. If you got your wives and they want to start a business, here you go. And then the update, it was just pointing out certain things. And we covered this before, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware and how to find it. So some of the things that they highlighted after launching this program, they found out that, Black women are pursuing widespread methods to achieve wealth, such as higher education, part-time jobs, or home ownership. But even these decisions may come at a significant cost. 28% of Black women have over $50,000 in student loans, compared to 11% of the U.S. adults, which could be a hindrance to starting a business. Despite 84% of Black women completing at least some college education versus 86% of the national average, 50% report yearly household incomes of less than $75,000 versus 35% of all U.S. adults, okay? Only 49% of Black women own homes compared to 65% of U.S. adults. However, single Black women actually own more homes than single Black men. Married Black couples own the most homes in the Black community, okay? And then Black women provide critical support to their families, with 58% spending a portion of their personal income to support their extended family. And let me just speak on this, and I mentioned this before, and I don't think it hit home when I was telling Black women in particular that your health needs to be a priority, because we know that 80% of Black women are overweight. You're probably asking, why am I bringing this up? It's because of the fact that if you guys become overweight and then that turns into obesity, turns into morbid obesity, then you're going to be the ones, your daughters are going to be essentially the ones that are going to take care of you when you get older and you are disabled. The women in the family tend to take care of the women in the family in the Black community. So that's why it's important that you guys take care of your health, so you don't put that burden on your daughters, okay? Sometimes the sons definitely help out, for the majority of the time, the daughters are the ones that's going to take on that responsibility. And I saw this in real time because I actually dated a woman in the past, and she was a great person, but she had to spend the majority of her time taking care of her mother. And I tried to help her out as much as possible by giving her information and things of that nature. But yeah, she was the one that was taking care of her. So it is very important. Just for that specific point there, you spend some of your personal income on your extended family, okay? So yeah, that's why I brought that up. So let's continue. All right. And I don't want to keep on the negative, but I'll let you guys take a look at this for yourselves. But yeah, they just lay it out in regards to all the issues that they've ran into so far. But this is still going on. And I wanted to, let me just say this. Just 17% of Black women feel their interests are being well represented by Washington policymakers, despite the majority believing that federal policy should advance economic mobility for all Americans. So Black women, you could take a look at this. Here's the link for you guys to read for yourselves. And then also some more information for Black women starting a business. You may actually qualify for one of these 44 business grants that are specifically for Black women. Published on NerdWallet, you can go down the list and see where you qualify from 1 through 44. Because like I stated before, the issue that a lot of Black women run into is they end up funding their businesses with their own money instead of getting grants, loans, etc. The capital, right? So this is a way to get you started. See if if I was a Black woman, I would apply to damn near everyone that I qualify for, because some of them are specifically for a specific type of person or something like that. But everyone that you qualify for, hey, I would apply to all of them so you can get some money towards your business, okay? And here's the link to that for you to check out. I don't know if a lot of people know about this, but NerdWallet put it in a very succinct list to help you guys out, okay? And yeah, I think that's all I got. Yep, that's pretty much it. So we was able to do this in under 3 hours. That's actually pretty good. We got a lot of information in there, a lot of knowledge. Hopefully you guys learned something. For the Black women that are watching, like I said, this may be my last live stream specifically focusing on trying to educate Black women, but hopefully this was very informative for you guys. And just because you don't have me in this space to focus specific live streams and segments on Black women, that doesn't mean that you guys should stop doing the research for yourselves, because I just learned that it's not beneficial and conducive to my mental health to try and help, and then it gets regurgitated into blaming other people. So I'm gonna just focus on Black men, because we tend to be we accept, I guess, not necessarily critique criticism a little bit easier than our women. And I noticed that, I understand it now. So I'm gonna just go ahead and leave that up to other folks. But if this is my last live stream specifically for Black women in certain ways, then hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Okay. You had an ally. I'm done. So, but I still love y'all. So let's get out of here, man. Let's see here. I actually have a video. I think I downloaded it on the way out. If you guys want to stick around, I'm going to let the video of me visiting the St. Killian's distillery. I think I brought that here. Hopefully I brought it here on the way out so you guys can have. Where is it? Yeah, it is. I got it up here so you guys can check this out as I log off. Erroneous E with the $5 bomb at the end. He says, appreciate your media, man. Thank you, good brother. And thank you for staying for the long haul. We average about 60, 62 people here. Greatly appreciate it, man. I mean, it was definitely worth it for me. I enjoyed doing the research for this, and I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. So, so I'll let you guys watch the St. Killian's whiskey distillery visit in the hills of Germany. Yes, I went all the way out there to visit them. So, oh, man, William K. Jones, man, 1999 bomb. He said, we need you to stick around, take care of yourself. Yeah, I absolutely am, because I was definitely getting frustrated. I was like, man, it's not worth it, William. And we'll talk about it more on the members live stream. But I greatly appreciate all the support. God bless y'all. God bless Black men, Black women. God bless the Black community, man. And hopefully, we can at some point see eye to eye, hopefully. So, but so here we go. Let me bring the video up. Y'all take care. God bless. Be safe and be back here. I'm going to try and get in one on Wednesday if we got to pop the balloon or whatever from the Atlanta show, Finest Game show. So here you guys go. Thank you. Media Man out. Peace. Thank y'all.
just made it to Killian's, St. Killian's, the whiskey distillery. This is Germany's best whiskey, so we're finna get a full tour. Nice little taste. Started off early. By the time we walk it off.
Zusammen, auf den komme ich jetzt auch noch gleich. Und das heißt, es ist ein deutsch-irischer Whisky. Ja? Und da der Kollege, der Mario Rudolph, die Charaktere der beiden Herrschaften, also Bud Spencer und Terence Hill, kommt rein und und wir hatten einen Grund, warum wir Trockenhefe verwenden. Wir könnten ja wieder selber züchten. Ja? Hat aber ein Risiko. Man hat in der Luft immer auch Wege. Ja? Sonst würden wir auch irgendwann vergehren. Das entsteht alles. 1, 2, 3, you know where to go.
So basically what he was saying is the products to make the whiskey is cheap, but they get taxed $13.03 per liter. So if they make a certain amount of liters every month, it costs them 3 to 4 million euro. It's crazy.
He's explaining the osmosis process. In the rocky area, they have hard groundwater, which is good, but it's not good for making whiskey, so they have to make it pure.
Okay, oder Moonshine. Ja? Moonshine kam allerdings von den Schwarzbrennern. Ne? Die haben es eben bei Moonshine gebrannt und direkt verkauft, weil die wollten nicht erwischt werden. Ne?
Pure white whiskey without the sugar charcoal in it. It's,
1, 2, 3, you know where to go. Den haben wir auf Trinkstärke runtergesetzt, ja, auf 43. Ich hätte ihn noch Fassstärke, aber habe jetzt gerade da nur Rauchen. Und wenn Sie den trinken, dann schmeckt alles nach Rauch. Das gibt die Geschichte.
It's alright. It's more like a vodka.
Aber Sie können es gerne probieren. Ja. I do. Ooh.
bunch of different ones. I just wanted to try the classic. It's probably one I'm gonna take home.
Schön, ne?
Schöne Süße.
Er ist sehr komplex durch die vielen, ne? Also er hat ganz viele.
Aber smooth.
So.
No bite at the end. This is the classic.
In verschiedenen deutschen Fässern da.
Ah ja, die 13.
You can tell the difference. It's way more woody.
Wenn Sie auch gerne, probieren Sie mal den.
Switch it around, you can see the tears. See that? Oh wow. It's a lot of spice, a lot of wood. That's a unique tasting whiskey right there. The first classic is pretty straightforward. This one has a bunch of flavors.
Kurze Frage, ich wäre dann eigentlich so weit durch mit der Tour. Ich habe natürlich wieder überzogen, ich hoffe, ich habe Sie.
So this is the classic heated. That's the one that's the most unique, one of the most unique whiskeys I've ever tasted. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a bottle of that. And then this is the new make. They just made this. It's like a white whiskey, so it's no. They didn't brew this in the barrel, so it's somewhat like moonshine as they described it. So it was strong. It wasn't the best tasting. The classic was really good. You guys might probably recognize this from like regular whiskey that you drink in America. So this is the most close to American whiskey. It's pretty good. And I didn't taste these ones, so yeah.
I get the chewing gum.
All right, so this was described as it tasted like big red chewing gum, right? And it smells just like it. Oh my goodness! Here we go. It's actually pretty good. It's good. It's tasty.
Is it sweet or what?
Yes, it's very sweet. It's very sweet.
1, 2, 3, you know where to go. Oh